Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up from home. Whoa!
Gophers with a chance. The three on the way. It goes! Tyson! Now Blackwell for the win! Good!
And all of a sudden, all is right in the world in Wisconsin sports. I didn't expect to get chills this quick after the Packers season with no Brewers, but here we are. What a shot by Jonathan Blackwell last night. Badgers 78. Those pesky Gophers 75. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Our thanks to who? Big Ten, I would imagine?
Big Ten Network, yep.
The call there, you're going to want to stick around. Not only do we have that, but we also have the call from the Badgers Radio Network with Matt LePay coming up in the most electrifying sound. And I didn't know this was a thing till this morning, but the Badgers have a student radio station. And Joey Bonadonna on WSUM also had a call that was legendary.
Also, what a name.
Joey Bonadonna, I know.
Joey Bonadonna, huh? Hey, who's on the call tonight? Yeah, we got Joey Bonadonna out there. That's a hell of a name.
We have a hell of a show for you guys this morning here on Inside Wisconsin Sports. We'll get you caught up. Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks. If there's anything else, we'll chat about it. The normal segments. I have questions. The morning mind dump. What's up, Wisconsin? That's all in your future. The most electrifying sound, but holy moly, do we have 3 segments in a row for you today. Joining us at 7:15 a.m. this morning, the Milwaukee Brewers manager, Pat Murphy, will jump on Inside Wisconsin Sports. We'll catch up with him prior to spring training and also talk about the Pat Murphy statewide tour that kicks off tomorrow here in Wisconsin and goes through next Tuesday. Murph is jumping around the state, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that it's an awesome thing about Murph. He'll be out there talking to the people, handing out pancakes, whenever duty calls, Murph is there. And so excited that he's going to be with us this morning.
I want to know if he's flying around the state, if he's driving. I mean, he's
I needed to be in a bus. I needed to be in a tour bus.
That's valid. He's in the Dells on the 17th during the day and then in La Crosse that night. And then he's here in Green Bay. He's in Milwaukee. He's in Wausau. He's in Eau Claire. He pretty much touches all the corners of the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Can't wait to chat with him and then see him next week. Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks. If you missed it yesterday, we're going right back to the Brewers. Did you miss it yesterday? Our guy, Tim Allen. You've heard him on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, specifically in Milwaukee for over 20 years. He is back doing a show every Wednesday night, a brand new show. It's a hot stove edition of Brewers Talk, Hot Stove Weekly tonight, 5 to 7. Tim Allen, Tommy Wartz getting you ready for all things Brewers baseball. And then, of course, the pregame show and the forever famous postgame show will be back this season with Tim Allen on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. He joins us after Pat Murphy at 7:35. Our apologies to Tim Allen. He was supposed to join us right away coming up to 7 o'clock. Turns out Pat Murphy was available. Timmy, you good with bump?
Yeah, and Timmy sure is, because not only now do we get to just hear from Tim Allen, welcome him back to the airwaves here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, but we're going to also talk to him about his thoughts on our interview with Pat Murphy. So it couldn't have lined up any better.
Perfect timing. I think they're pretty close, too. So it's going to be exciting to chat with Murph about Tim Allen coming back. We'll see what he has to say. Of course, 8 a.m., the most listened to segment in Wisconsin radio every week. We have proof Doug Gottlieb joins us, UWGB's men's basketball head coach, on a heater right now. 4 in a row for GB basketball. We'll chat with him at 8. And then we'll get to Would You Rather Wednesday, which is going to seem like I'm going to be exhausted by then.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
Yeah, 100%.
No news from the Packers yesterday. We're still not sure what's going on with Matt LaFleur and his contract. I saw Rob Domofsky earlier in the week say that he thought we may know by Wednesday-ish. I wonder, Josh, if the news out of Pittsburgh yesterday with Mike Tomlin stepping down, finger quotes, stepping down after 19 seasons with the Steelers, does that have any impact on the Packers' negotiations with Matt LaFleur?
I also thought the same thing. If Ed Policy and Goody and the board and whoever else is making this decision is waiting for more pieces to fall, as many as they can, before they're forced to make this decision. And I did think it was interesting, too. I don't know if this is actually true, but I saw something that said because he wasn't, like, fired and he's still, like, Tomlin, he's still, like, if another team wanted him, they would have to talk to the Steelers to get the rights to Tomlin to be the next head coach of their team. And I thought, interesting. Could that be something that the Packers look into as an option with Matt LaFleur of, okay, another team, one of these other teams that would want you, come get him, but you're giving us something for him.
That maths, because if a player retires while they're still in contract or steps down, if they want to come back, the other team still has the rights. So that makes sense, Josh.
We saw that with Gronk when Gronk was going to go to join Brady in Tampa Bay. I believe that his rights were still owned by the Patriots or something, so they had to let him go, essentially.
Same thing with Favre, too. He wasn't signable. We had to trade him. So we'll see how that shakes out. Maybe we'll learn some things today with Matt LaFleur, maybe not. But I thought that threw a little bit of a curveball. So get your popcorn ready. I don't think we're quite there just yet. Pat Murphy, 7:15 this morning. That's your catch-up with the Brewers. Tim Allen just after that. If you are ready for Brewers baseball, as Josh and I are, look, I just noticed.
Yeah, if you're not watching us, which, by the way, I got to just say, you can watch us live on Twitter and YouTube at WI Sports Radio. Also, after the show, it's still there. If you're like, oh, yeah, but I'm driving, I'd love to see what you guys are talking about when you bring that up. It's still there. You can go back. You can watch us. But the quarter zip, thank you, Trevor. Fits great. It's amazing. I'm deal. Completely put into bed. I don't even know what stinky quarter zip you're talking about.
Hey,
moving on. This is great. I can be bought.
Yes, you can. It worked. That was the goal. I can be bought. Oh, that's great. You heard it at the top. We'll play it for you again. Badgers basketball was the savior in Wisconsin sports yesterday because there's not a whole lot to celebrate in regard to basketball here in Wisconsin right now, especially with the Bucks and Marquette, but we'll get to that in a second. I mean, if Doug's listening, lots to celebrate with GB. And Wisconsin last night took the cake. Wisconsin 78, Minnesota 75. Jonathan Blackwell ends it at the horn, and it was a really weird ending because with something like 8 seconds left, Minnesota either tied it or went up, and then we got the ball.
Yeah, they tied it.
They tied it.
So the Badgers were at the free throw line. They had a shot to go up 4. They missed the free throw. Then the Gophers tie it on a 3 that you would have thought would have sent the game into OT, and then Blackwell says, no, this game's over. Buzzer beater.
Amazing calls from the Big Ten Network, from the Wisconsin Badgers radio network, from WSUM. We will get to all of that in the most electrifying sounds, plural, of the day, coming up at about 6:45. There's an electrifying sound from the Bucks game last night, only it really sucks.
Yeah, you remember yesterday when at the end of the day you said, hey, Josh, there are two basketball games tonight. The Badgers and the Bucks. How do you think they're going to go? And I said, I think they're going to split. And you said, which one's going to win? And I said, I think the Badgers are going to win. I didn't think the Bucks were going to lose this bad. They get trounced by Minnesota. And then the boos started raining down, and they talked to Giannis about that as well after the game.
Count the bucket.
Listen to that.
Tough two to get. Giannis with
You're there in the background.
the squeeze with this team.
You can hear him. Do you hear that?
Yeah. And he was asked about it, and because then they came out the half on like a 13-2 run, and he was booing back. He was booing the home crowd back, and he was asked about it, and he said, "Listen, I if you boo me, I boo you. It doesn't matter if I'm at home, if I'm away." And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, "Oh God!" It reminded me a lot of the feelings going into that Packer game, right? Of a loss is one thing. How could it be worse than a loss? Right? That the way that the Packers collapsed against the Bears made it worse. The way that things are going with the Bucs right now, not even just losing by 7, but this type of performance without Rudy Gobert or Ant in there is, and then leading to the fans booing when Giannis is on the court. Oh, ugly. It's just getting more and more ugly, man.
How do you feel about Giannis booing back?
I don't mind it at all. If I'm being honest, like if Giannis is on the court, even if they're playing bad, like I'm not booing. Like you got to like it's a completely different situation.
I'm all in on the fans booing. We can't tell people how to fan. You taught me that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Giannis booing back? I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I don't know that I necessarily mind it though. It's all garbage. I think our boy Ty Windish actually put out, or maybe it was Andy Herman. I don't know. We talk to a lot of great people, but said, thank God for Doc Rivers that Matt LaFleur is going through it right now, because the fact that Doc Rivers has a job may be one of the biggest travesties in Wisconsin sports as they sit today. And I will tell you, that will be a would you rather question that I have for you later in the show.
Okay, so Giannis booing back doesn't bug you, but at what point is he making himself the center of attention and bigger than the team? Because any other team in Wisconsin, we would never allow that. Nobody's bigger than the G in the Green Bay Packers. Nobody's bigger than the Milwaukee Brewers. Is Giannis putting himself in a position with him booing back at the fans when, let's be honest, those tickets aren't cheap to go to a Bucs game at Fiserv?
Sure,
and they looked like absolute dog last night.
100%.
And they have the right to boo, but I've never seen a player break the fourth wall and boo back. That just really struck me as something going, oh, boy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Giannis isn't happy. Neither are Bucs fans. No one's happy with what's going on right now. I'm wondering, we're hearing from, sources per source that the Bucs are looking to add pieces, change things, make Giannis happy, do what they need to do, blah, blah, blah. But that hasn't happened yet, right? It's all been rumors. And I'm sitting here going, I don't know how much longer the Bucs front office can just do nothing before they need to make a change one way or another. Even if it's a change I don't want to happen. Like you can't, things just keep getting worse and worse. And it's going to keep getting more and more ugly.
Did Giannis come out and have any apathy for all of that? Or was it just if you boo me, I boo you?
Yeah, no, it was that. And he said, like, he essentially said it doesn't matter if it's home or away. Like, because he has done like the mocking boo on the road before.
Yeah, to the opposing fans. Correct,
but that's his point. That's why he said, like, it doesn't matter where I am, if I'm playing home or away. Oh, trust me, Giannis is definitely in his villain arc right now. He absolutely is. My thing is, can he get out of it? Can they flip the script on it? I don't know.
Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks, the only other from last night was Marquette. Marquette was at Madison Square Garden against St. John's. Woof. Marquette 68, St. John's 92. St. John's wrapped up and forced 19 Marquette turnovers last night.
Yikes.
I would still like to have Shaka Smart on the show to simply check in. How you doing? What's going on? And what's the fix? Because it is no secret that Shaka doesn't play the NIL agent transfer portal game. And it appears for lack of better ways of explaining it, appears to be catching up with them.
Well, my question for you is, do you think that Shaka's going to be here next year? There were reports, that the things were happening behind closed doors at practices with players and arguments between him and players. And it seemed like things were getting pretty ugly. It seemed like it was more than just, hey, you're not taking advantage of the NIL the way that you need to. It seemed like there was more going on there that, I don't know, it could lead to something different. You got to remember, for a program like Marquette, that's all they have. It's basketball. It's just basketball. So when, Marquette's AD is looking at what they have to do to keep that up, they can't go, well, I'm focusing on football over here. No, it's just basketball.
True. We're going to see. It's a bummer to think about that. If it is nearing the end for Shaka at Marquette, because up until maybe the recent most season or two, it's been a really great ride.
Yeah.
Watching those guys be as competitive as they have. He's a Wisconsin boy here back home in Wisconsin. I mean, the storyline is so there. Hopefully they can figure it out. The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line, 414-677-1250. You are caught up, Wisconsin. Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks, other. In case you missed it, 7:15 this morning, the Brewers manager, Pat Murphy, will join us here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh to talk about his upcoming statewide tour and the upcoming spring training and all the things starting back up for Milwaukee Brewers baseball. The 470 texts in this morning and says, Dear Nation stands with MVP Giannis and gives some of the critics the Giannis thumbs down. There's a vote for Giannis.
Yeah.
The 414 Jeff in Fox Point says, how about those Badgers? 3 big wins in a row. First, last, second shot by Bucky since the tournament in 2016. You're talking about Bronson Koenig, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned. We may or may not have that audio and a trip down memory lane. What do you think about fans going, pretty sad? He's blowing back at the fans from the 920. Some people paid a lot of money for those seats, and that the Bucs raise every year, taking advantage of their good record. Stay classy, San Diego. She means Bucs, not Box.
Yeah, that's the talk to text. Listen, that's the same argument a lot of fans make when they pay to go see a game and then Giannis isn't playing. Right, when Giannis isn't in. I paid good money to see this, and now it's a load management game. Well, would you rather have it to where it's all load management games? Because that very well could be the future for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Annie texts in, time for some college basketball. Marquette played too. We got it there, Annie. Are you Marquette fans? I know they're not doing well, but I still cheer for them. We are Marquette fans in my house.
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
son, if Marquette would lose 6 in a row, it doesn't matter. They win that 7th game, my son will be in a Marquette jersey that very next day, and he will take a picture and send it to me and say, we are so back, baby.
We are back.
Maybe not, but he's a fan. We're fans. We'll actually be at the Marquette game on March 7th. It's that doubleheader day. Marquette during the day, Bucks at night. Something going on in your life that I'm going to make an appearance at, hopefully, Josh, with
we'll make
Bowling
an announcement
for
soon.
Chumps.
Yep.
It's all good. Giannis has repeatedly said he'll never demand a trade from the Bucks. Boo him all you want.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that salty sarcasm. I feel it. This is what I'm saying. Things. The Bucks organization needs to figure something out. This is all part of managing it. To me, it's no different than what's happening with Matt LaFleur, right? The fan base isn't happy. Things need to be done. You just can't ignore what the fan base is feeling. So the Bucks front office needs to get it together, and policy's got to get it together. Decisions across the state need to be made. And I can just tell you, I'm very happy that spring training is on the horizon and that the Badgers and UWGB and college basketball has said, hey, we're here. It's time for us. Let's go.
About time. Welcome back, buzzer beaters. Up next, I have questions. The question today, and we heard from players and we heard from reporters, do the Packers have a finishing problem? Is that really where all of this lies? And what, if anything, can we do to fix it? That's probably a bigger conversation for a different day. Today, a really big day here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. If at any point on your way to work this morning, which P.S., drive safe.
Yeah.
Apparently, it is snowing like crazy in parts of the state.
Yes, it definitely was down here on the way in. I compare it to Star Wars when you're going into hyperspeed. The snowflakes are just hitting you. It's heavy out there, so be careful.
And then you turn on the high beams, and you really do feel like you're in outer
That's right.
space. If at any point you missed part of today's show, you had to get to work, or you missed the interview with Pat Murphy coming up at 7:15, fear not, friends. Open up your favorite podcast app, search Inside Wisconsin Sports, click the follow button, and there you go. You will choose when you will get caught up, how you'll catch the interviews. The whole show, 1 hour, one segment, totally up to you. Inside Wisconsin Sports, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Up next, I have questions. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Go Brewers. Let's go. Welcome back inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. In case you missed it earlier, 7:15 this morning, Milwaukee Brewers manager Pat Murphy joins us here on Inside Wisconsin Sports. He's got a big statewide tour coming. It starts tomorrow, ends next week, Tuesday. Nearly every day, Murph is in a new city across the state here in Wisconsin, getting us ready for all things Brewers baseball. Pitchers and catchers, I think, report February 10th. The first spring training game, February 21st. We'll catch up with Murph at 7:15 this morning. For now, I have questions.
When things just don't add up, Trevor and Josh ask the hard questions or just point out how messed up stuff is.
I only have one question.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
Do you view this season as a failure?
You asked me the same question last year.
What's the most important question the Badgers have to answer Saturday?
This is a great question. Oh my God, this is a great question.
It's time for I Have Questions on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The Nicolay Law fan talk and text line, 414-677-1250. What has you, plain and simply, just scratching your head this morning in regard to Wisconsin sports? What are we confuzzled by? And what can Josh and I answer for you? By the way, it may not be true, but boy, oh boy, do we have an answer.
Yeah, we'll give you an answer. It might not be the right answer, but we'll give you one.
Josh, is it true that the Packers have a finishing problem?
I think it's definitely true that the Packers this last season had a finishing problem. I think the question is, how long have they had a finishing problem? Is this just this last season, or is this a bigger issue than just Packers 2025?
Yeah, it's a valid conversation. And the players and some reporters had a lot to say about whether or not the Packers can finish a game. If you just simply look at this season, clearly the answer is not so much. But to Josh's point, has this been happening a minute or two? Here's Green Bay Press Gazette Packers beat writer Ryan Wood on how he thinks the Packers finish, or maybe not.
It's amazing how opposite these two teams play 4 quarters. 3 straight games now. It's all Packers in the first half. It's all Bears in the second half. Here's the problem with that for the Packers. It's more important how you finish than how you start with anything in life.
Yep.
How you start, it sounds like it doesn't matter. It matters. How you finish is what counts. And the Packers don't finish. This team doesn't finish. This was the type of loss where your fabric, your identity, who you are, gets exposed. That's what happened here. That's why it feels so bad. The Packers never matched the Chicago Bears fight, not in that fourth quarter. That's the question. Any season, any loss is tough. The question you can never have hanging over your head for the entire offseason is, where was the fight? And that's the question that hangs out over the Green Bay Packers' head going into another empty offseason. Where was the fight?
That's the question.
Tell me he's wrong.
We'll have to dive into, Josh, a different day about whether or not the players on this team, or maybe the team in general, have that ability to fight, or, to your words, have a dog.
Yeah.
Do they have
they got that dog in them?
Currently, it does not appear, not so much, but we'll break that down a different day. For now, why can't the Packers finish a game? Ryan Wood said it there. It's not how you start in life, it's how you finish. It sure seems to be a hiccup in the old game plan, which they don't want to tell us anything about.
Right.
And I'm starting to wonder if it's only one half of a game plan. Javon Bullard talked after the game the other day, and he did not mince words.
No disrespect to them, but it ain't what they did. It's us. It's us. We got to finish. You know, we whooping their ass the whole game. Like, that's us. We got to finish. I ain't do this special. We got to finish. We ain't finished last time. We ain't finished this time. So that's something we got to work on within us. It ain't nothing new. Chicago ain't do special. You know, they ran what they did. They did what they did. They made plays. Okay, cool. But a lot of this stuff is on us, and we got to fix that.
So it seems like the players and the reporters that cover the team can both acknowledge that it wasn't that the Bears won, it's that the Packers lost. It's that the Packers beat themselves, which is what I said all season long, was that no team could beat the Packers but the Packers.
And I put out on Twitter after that game on Saturday night, and I mean this, if you are saying the Packers beat themselves yet again, you're wrong. The Packers got their ass kicked in the second half. It was the exact same story it's been for years now. They get a lead and they play soft. The Bears beat the Packers. The Packers can't beat themselves when they're up 21-3, especially when there's nothing to specifically point to that the Packers did to hurt themselves. They plain got beat in that second half, and it was ugly.
Yeah, but the lack of ability to finish a game, that's you beating yourself.
No, that's the other team taking advantage of it. The other team still has to come back. You can't beat yourself just by not finishing. The other team still has to score points. They still need to move the ball.
I guess it could be a little bit of both. You still have to have that collapse, though. Like you are collapsing. You are making the mental mistakes. You are sending 10 guys out there. You are calling a timeout and then getting a delay of game penalty. Those are all the ways that you are beating yourself. All of those examples I just brought up, those weren't the Bears. The Bears didn't do any of those things. That was the Packers. That was the Packers that made those mistakes.
It might be tomato, but if the Packers make mistakes, the other team still has to take advantage of them. And the few mistakes that the Packers made in the second half, you mentioned there, right? Only having 10 players on the field, that caused us to burn a timeout. Mm-hmm. Then only having 10 players on the field when Chicago was kicking a field goal or an extra point, whichever it was.
Extra point, yeah. That's
all special teams. So there are mistakes that they made, the timeout, and then having the delay of game coming out of that timeout. That's 100% on Matt LaFleur. But the other team, in this case, the Chicago Bears, still has to capitalize on that. If we make those mistakes and they don't do what they got to do, well, then they're not going to beat us. But the Bears did, and it wasn't, to Ryan Wood's point, the first time that the Bears have done this to the Packers this season, let alone other teams. We talked yesterday or the day before, Matt Schneidman put out that there was 5 times this season where the Packers had an insane lead, whether it was 9 points, 10 points, or in this case, 18 points, and still can't finish. Josh, Quay Walker had something to say about this too, yeah?
Yeah, Quay Walker said after the game, and I just have the quote I'm going to read here for you. He said, "As bad as I want to stand right here and say we should have won that game, we didn't execute. That's been a problem for us, honestly, just finishing games. Even before I got here, I feel like that's always been a part of this organization. When it comes down to big games, finishing games, whether you start strong in the first half, it comes down to can you finish? Nobody cares what you did in the first half. It comes down to when the fourth quarter hits double zeros, whatever the case may be. Do we have more points than them? That hasn't been the case at all." I think it's really interesting that Quay Walker not only points out what I think is absolutely true, but says even before he got there, right? We talk about the culture. Ryan Wood just said that this is where it's not just about the game itself, but it's about the fabric of your culture and your organization. For a player who's been on the team, how long has Quay Walker been in Green Bay?
4 or 5 years now.
Okay. So for him to not even just say in the time I've been here 4 or 5 years, but saying before he was even a part of the organization, this has been a problem for the organization. That's quite a statement. And to me, that just plays in more to the fact that it's soft. It's the softness. And I don't know if it starts with coaching or if it starts even higher up than that, but something has to seriously change within 1265 if we're expecting this team to win another Super Bowl, because you can't always have it to where you're sitting on pins and needles, curious, worrying, wondering, are they going to be able to hold this? Are they going to be able to hold on to this lead? That's not what you're looking for.
So whether it's culture, which Matt LaFleur said it's not, it's execution, or the ability to finish, or having a dog, whatever all that is, to your point, Josh, we should have a leader in place that can fix these things. But instead, we're talking about how we negotiate a contract extension with our head coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
Riddle me that one, Batman.
My thing is I'm trying to think back before, like in the McCarthy era, right? Like during the seasons that didn't lead to a Super Bowl for Mike McCarthy, was that the same thing? Did the change in the culture of that soft, not being able to finish Green Bay Packer scenarios, did those start with Matt LaFleur, or does it go back even further than Matt LaFleur?
It maybe started, and I mentioned this the other day, when that whole love triangle reporting structure put in place.
Yeah.
Because there's really, I mean, yes, Ed Policy, yes, Mark Murphy, but there's really no hammer in the Packers organization. The hammer is the executive board. The hammer is Ed Policy, but even he only has so much power without the executive board. Every other team in the NFL has a hammer, and it's the guy that signs the checks. They came out yesterday in the Ravens press conference when they were talking about who's going to be the next head coach of the Ravens and how the season finished and why they made that change. And a reporter in the middle of the press conference let the owner of the Ravens know that Tomlin was all of a sudden available. That's a guy that can make something happen like that. We don't have that in Green Bay, and we definitely don't have that with this reporting structure where Russ Ball, Brian Gutekunst, and in this case, Matt LaFleur, all have a level playing field, call it whatever you want, on the leadership tree. They're all in the same line, and they all three report up to Ed Policy.
Mm-hmm.
But are they on the same page? I don't know.
And more importantly, are none of them willing to make the hard decisions that's leading to this? Well, I don't know. What do you want to do? Well, I don't know. Should we soft decision? They're all pointing. They're the Spider-Man meme. They're all just pointing at each other instead of someone being in that position of having to take the heat and celebrate the successes and worry about the woes. It is something that we've celebrated a lot, right? We look at Jerry Jones and some of these other owners and we go, man, are we glad we don't have that in Green Bay? But that doesn't mean that the system we have in place is perfect, because I do believe that this is a culture problem. I don't think that this is just a coaching problem of not being able to finish and this soft idealism in Green Bay and just not being scrappy and tough until zeros.
Here's a question for another day, Josh. Have the Packers as an organization recovered from the culture killer that is Aaron Rodgers? Think about it. Maybe we'll talk about that later in the week.
So you're saying you think that it wasn't a Mike McCarthy or a Matt LaFleur issue. You think the softness came with number 12.
I think the culture was killed with number 12, specifically how he acted the last 3 years he was here and on his way out. Why do I believe that? And I really do want to talk more about this a different day. Look what happened at the Jets, and now look what happened at Pittsburgh. And you tell me there's not a common denominator of somebody coming in there thinking they're bigger than the team and bigger than the current culture and making it about themselves.
That's a great question. Yeah, we should tee that up for tomorrow. I'd love to dive deeper into that.
Let's dive deeper into the most electrifying sounds of the day. That's next. You will not want to miss this. Matt LePay, Joey Bonadonna, and Brian Anderson. That's next. We are inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Time for the most electrifying sounds, plural, of the day.
It's time for
The most electrifying.
sound of the day
The most electrifying.
on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
Seconds left. Awesome leaves it for Tyson for three in the tie. And it's good. We're tied. 4.6 seconds to play. Inbounds past Blackwell with three, with two, with one. Blackwell for the win. Good! John Blackwell for three. John Blackwell for the win.
What a shot by John Blackwell.
And that is the most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. That was the first and biggest call that we're going to give you here. That was Matt LePay. Heard a little bit of Brian Butch there on the Badgers radio network of the big buzzer beater. Blackwell Badgers over Minnesota 78-75.
I don't know about you, Josh, but when I see that, I instantly search for Matt LePay's call.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Could be Badger football related, could be Badger basketball, could be a buzzer beater, just a big game, a big moment. Matt LePay has been the soundtrack of my Badgers life.
100%. We do not appreciate the play-by-play broadcasters we have in the state enough, and we appreciate them, and it's still not enough.
Very much. We met a new one last night.
Yeah.
Joey Bonadonna.
Hey, Joey, hey.
WSUM, the Badgers student radio station, is my understanding. Here's him on the call of that last shot.
10 to play. Osma beats the timeline. Handoff to Tyson for three. Inbound to Blackwell. 4 to play. Blackwell the other way. Pulls for the win. Good! John Blackwell wins it for the Badgers. Are you kidding me? Let's go home, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go home. Badgers winners in Dinkytown.
Let's go home.
I loved it.
That was outstanding. He does some work for the Green Bay Rockers here in Green Bay,
nice.
Green Bay Blizzard. He's a Green Bay guy. He has a lot to do with Notre Dame athletics here in Green Bay. And I did not know that he was doing those calls. And all of a sudden, I think Matt LePay shared that last night.
He did.
And I was like, let's go. Now, here's the crazy part. That is the first buzzer beater for Badgers basketball since Bronson Koenig in 2016 in the NCAA tournament against Xavier. Josh, you just said it best. We do not take our play-by-play guys here in Wisconsin for granted, especially when they're doing national games and the Badgers are involved. Here's BA.
Here we go. 2 to go. Trip to the Sweet 16. Koenig's got it. Rises up. The shot. And it's good! It's good! Wisconsin has won it!
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby.
Is it March yet?
How crazy is it that the last buzzer beater, not like the last buzzer beater, period, right? Not just in a tournament, for the Badgers is almost a decade old. 2016. Whoo! Needed one.
I'm here for it.
Needed
in
one.
My veins. God, I love college basketball. That's what we're going to chat about next before we get to Brewers manager Pat Murphy at 7:15. The morning mind dump cut short for the Skip this morning, who we're going to chat about his upcoming Wisconsin tour across the state, talking to communities and just shaking hands, kissing babies, asking questions. That's Pat Murphy. But first, knowing that basketball is back in the college ranks, at least back top of mind for us post-Packers season, where do your allegiances lie? Is it the Badgers? Is it Marquette and the Golden Eagles? Is it the Green Bay Phoenix? I think that's where mine lie. Is it the Milwaukee Panthers? Those are the 4 D1 colleges here in the state. Or is it a team at the D3 ranks? Is it somebody in the WEAC? Is it Carroll College?
Mm-hmm.
You tell us. The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line 414-677-1250. Where do your college basketball allegiances lie? And I fully expect, by the way, Josh, for some people to go college basketball. I am dialed in on my son or my daughter's high school basketball.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a women's team in the state of Wisconsin that you follow very closely. UWGB has an incredible program. The Wisconsin Badgers women's basketball program is back where it deserves to be. Where do your allegiances lie? That's today's Morning Mind Dump. Coming up next, and shortly thereafter, Milwaukee Brewers manager Pat Murphy joins us at 7:15 here on Inside Wisconsin Sports. In case you missed it, he's traveling the state. Brookfield, the Dells, La Crosse, Eau Claire, Wausau, Green Bay. The Pat Murphy statewide tour headed out and getting us all ready for Brewers spring training just around the corner. February 10th is when catchers and pitchers report. February 21st is the first game in spring training. Something like 71 days until opening day. We'll count it down. We'll chat with Pat Murphy at 7:15 here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Stay here, Wisconsin. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't God that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
Gophers with a chance. The three on the way. It goes! Tyson! Now Blackwell for the win! Good!
What an end to the Badgers-Gophers game last night. That call from the Big Ten Network. A buzzer beater 3 and a huge W for the Badgers over the Gophers, 78-75. Jonathan Blackwell. And this music, Josh, just brings chills to the bones.
Oh, yeah. It just feels so good.
I'm not happy that the Packers season's over, but I'm all in on college basketball now. Let's go.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to be ready for it yet. And the Badgers were like, no, you are. Here, let us help.
Yeah, hold my beer.
Yeah.
Hold my beer.
Oh, buddy, don't feel bad. Here, let me give you a little buzzer beater quick.
What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, joining us at 7:15. So don't go anywhere. Milwaukee Brewers manager Pat Murphy will be here on Inside Wisconsin Sports and the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. But until then, a quick chat here during what we call the Morning Mind Dump.
Voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
The coffee is kicked in. We're awake and ready to roll. Let's get some things off our chest and out of our heads.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about, okay?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. I'm in a glass case of emotion.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We got no food. We got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off.
It's time for the Morning Mind Dump on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line, 414-677-1250. Where does your basketball here in Wisconsin allegiance lie? If you like a different college team outside of the state or a different NBA team, I don't care. Sorry. Not sorry. Where do your basketball allegiances lie here in the state of Wisconsin? Josh, I think I know yours, but what is it?
So it's funny enough, I am a state of Wisconsin college basketball free agent fan because I went to Wichita State, and just like Marquette, that's what they had. It was just basketball, and the Shockers haven't been worth a damn in like a decade. So my big thing is that's why I really just get into college basketball at the conference tournament, because I love the tournament and I love just seeing the state of Wisconsin represented. So the years where we get more than two teams are the best, when and obviously rarely does that happen, but That's when it's great. And so that's why I don't lean one way or another. I just want successful programs so that I see them getting national attention in the big dance. And that's what's really killing me about Marquette this year, is they're not going to be there. Wisconsin will. Wisconsin's proven they're going to be there. At this point in the season, there's still no doubt. Now it's just about seeding. But unless Marquette pulls off a miracle and wins the Big East tournament, they're not going to be there. That sucks.
Over under one team from Wisconsin in the tournament. I mean, you can't have 0, obviously, but 1.5.
I'm going to say under 1.5. I'm going to say it's just going to be the Badgers.
Wisconsin only.
Yeah.
Maybe the Phoenix can win the tournament. They're playing really well. Maybe Milwaukee can figure out what's going on with their team and win the tournament. But that's the only way a Horizon League team is getting in the tournament, is to win their conference tournament. That bums me out, by the way, because there's some pretty good teams at the top of this league when they're playing well. We're talking like 20-plus win seasons sometimes. Remember Butler? Butler, before they left, were in the Horizon League. They kept going back to the tournament and back to the tournament. My allegiance is with UW Green Bay, but that's kind of a problem, right? Because I'm a huge Badgers fan, and my son is a huge Marquette fan. Therefore, I'm a big Marquette fan.
Yeah, you got to spread it around.
My apologies to the UW Milwaukee Panthers. Because of our allegiances with UW Green Bay, we're not fans. That doesn't mean I hate them. It just means that that's not where my allegiance lies.
Sure.
It's definitely not where my son's allegiance lies. After a really tough loss, we were at the Fiserv last year. It was Marquette. It was senior day. They lost on a buzzer beater, I think, to St. John's in overtime. And we were walking to Major Goolsby's just because we needed a hot second to calm down.
Yeah.
What's to the right of Major Goolsby's if you're walking from the Fiserv?
UWM Panther Arena. Yeah.
My oldest son was like, really?
Well, okay. So
now, this is where you're going to take me?
Let me ask you this. So how are you feeling if the, UWGB doesn't make it into the tournament, but UWM does? So Milwaukee does. They're not your school. Are you feeling upset because they're a rival of UWGB, or at that point, is it a bigger celebration just of them being in the tournament?
I'll go with the latter. I'd like to see a Wisconsin team in, and if we can get GB or Milwaukee in, that's great. As long I'm not gonna cheer against them. That would be stupid. I would like to think that they didn't knock. Well, but if they knock Green Bay out in the championship game, might have a problem.
Sure.
I mean, there are some things that may sway me, but I don't know. I mean, if they made the tournament, I'd be all in on that. What I really appreciate is a number of you across Wisconsin, 414-677-1250, text in and tell us that my allegiance now from the 612 is with UWGB, because listening to Coach on your show, I'd like him to prove his critics wrong. That's really great. And I think having Coach Doug Gottlieb on this show at 8 a.m. every Wednesday has allowed people to see behind the curtain, to get to know the dude. And then this year, he makes the decision to give up the radio show and commit himself 100% to UWGB. There are a lot of people in this community that have pulled me aside and went, Trev, that's impressive. I'm back on UWGB's bandwagon now, but it maybe took that for them to go, okay, this guy means some serious business. That's good.
Yeah, I think that it's an interesting conversation if you talk to a lot of people throughout the state, or especially here locally in Milwaukee, just about when it comes to football, right? There are a lot of fans that are Badger football fans, but then hate the Badger basketball team because they're a Marquette fan, and so it's kind of a weird dynamic for a lot of people because they don't have a Marquette football team to cheer for. And so they kind of like the Badgers, but then when it comes to basketball, they don't. And I'm sitting here on the outside, not, just being like, I hope everyone wins and feeling that out.
But let's talk baseball, shall we?
Yeah, that sounds good.
When we come back, Milwaukee Brewers manager Pat Murphy will join us here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Murph is next.
Cubs down to their final out. Carson Kelly grounded to short. Ortiz makes the play. Ball game over. The Brewers will play for the pennant.
Welcome back, Wisconsin, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Jeff Levering on the call, in quite possibly the greatest sports moment of my life. It's hard to argue that.
Ooh,
it's way up there.
It's up there for sure.
Joining us now on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law, the manager of the Milwaukee Brewers, Pat Murphy, on Inside Wisconsin Sports. Murph, thanks for jumping on, man. It's good to hear from you.
Well, it's my pleasure. My pleasure.
Every time I see you, Murph, the first thing you ask me is, how's life? So now I get to ask you, how's life, man?
I'm really grateful. This whole year, the last years, being able to share it with my family, and it's been great. Looking forward to the future, and I'm just living gratefulness, to be honest with you.
Murph, that was going to be my first question for you. Just, we're all amped and hyped and pumped up for the Brewers season this year. After the season that you guys had last year, and just the way that the city and the state all rallied together, and you guys really made some magic. How do you wait? How do you keep your composure waiting for spring training to start?
Well, you're always anxious when this time rolls around every year. There's more phone calls, there's more communication. All of a sudden, you realize, wow, we're close. But after the season, it's a weird thing, man. You just I don't know how to describe it, but you go through like some form of depression or whatever it might be. And I use that term without really knowing if I'm in that state. But you go through this period of like, wow, you're not disappointed as much as you're just like exhausted, and you look back and then you'd say, I don't want to think about it. And you go through a whole bunch of different emotions, but truly, you reflect back and you say, wow, I need a rest. So I think most people see it that way after the 8 months of going after it.
Pat Murphy, Milwaukee Brewers manager, joining us on Inside Wisconsin Sports. Murph, to end the season, it was the thrill of victory against the Cubs, and then the absolute agonizing defeat against the Dodgers. As the skip, the guy that leads the crew, how do you message that coming into this season, going, hey, is what it was, what a run, and now let's do it again?
Yeah, you have to rely on the players to understand that what got them there. Nobody expected them. Most people didn't have us over 500, and you run up 97 wins, which is the most in all of baseball. How can anybody expect that would have happened? The players themselves. But what they did do is they realized, wow, I didn't even play my best, but because I played a certain way, we were able to match anybody in the league. Now, obviously, they're disappointed what happened in the end because we beat the Dodgers, but the Dodgers were great at the end, and we weren't as great. We weren't brutal like people think we were because it's 4 straight games, but the Dodgers were unbelievable, and their pitching staff was incredible, and we weren't. So anyway, but to message it, it's just about, hey guys, can you understand what happened? And can you ask yourself, did you play your very, very best you ever could play? No. Do you have more in the tank? Yes. Was that fun being part of it? Yes. Well, let's begin the journey together again, but let's make no mistake. This is how it's played. So I think you figure out who's on board and maybe who's thinking about the wrong things and who's thinking about the right things, and, rally them and get them going.
Murph, obviously, regardless of who's on the team, you're there coaching them, making it the best team that they can be, and getting the players where they need to be successful. But during the offseason is when all the trade rumors happen and people are curious who's going to end up being where, or the Brewers going to add anyone. We obviously saw everything happen with Brandon Woodruff coming back, and the questions with Peralta and where he'll be this year. How do you manage all of those comments and those decisions that end up being made during the offseason?
Well, experience tells you that you don't speculate and you don't. The way trades happen, it's complex, but it isn't a slow bleed that everybody knows about for 2 months. It sparks, it happens. Somebody changes their mind or somebody makes a different decision, and all of a sudden it might be on. So you've got very little time and doing your research and all that kind of stuff, and it happens. But you don't. What good is it to sit around and speculate? What good is it to, act like if this, then this? You just kind of sit and do your due diligence, and hopefully, we've got a competitive team.
Murph, there's something to be said about the Brewers farm system, specifically a guy like Jesus Made. Matt Erickson was on a podcast recently and talked about how the Brewers at the big league level have to be ready for guys like that to make the jump, just like you were with the Miz last year. How much do you keep an eye on those prospects in the farm system?
Oh, of course. I mean, that's part of your job. You have to know those guys. We bring them over, mornings in spring training, get to know them, hang around our guys. We do that with a number of different prospects. But, it's just for us to get to know them a little bit. Sometimes they perform really well in the low minor leagues, and they struggle. I mean, this is a game of struggle. And then, expectations, all those different things get in the way. And sometimes, it's having an awareness of who they are in A-ball isn't as important as having an awareness if they're ready to contribute at the major league level to winning baseball. Because they could be ready to contribute in Major League Baseball, but they don't play winning baseball yet, let's say. That's the hard transition.
We're talking to Brewers manager Pat Murphy here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Murph, obviously the entire state has not only embraced his team, but embraced you. Very, very grateful to have you here. And now you're going on a statewide tour, which starts tomorrow. Can you talk a little bit about just what the fan base across the state has meant to you and what you've seen from the fan base?
Yeah, I mean, it's home for me. This will be season 11. And you don't get to, here's the shame of it all. You don't get to get out in the community very much because you're going from your home in the morning. I've got young kids, so I'm with my kids in the morning. And then I go to the ballpark, let's say 11:30. And then you're home at 11, so where do I go? Where am I going? Off days you're going to spend with your kids. And yeah, you do run into some people, but this fan base is incredible. They get it. They understand who we are. They understand what type of team we are. And it's just kind of come together for me as the manager. And I've been treated unbelievably. And I'm sorry I don't get out more, but this is an opportunity to get around the stage, see some different places. Most of these cities I'm going to, I've never been to. And, I'm going to get to go up to the Packers facility and tour that one of the days. My kids are going to be around, so that's going to be great. So incredible, and I think they're disappointed, and some of them don't get it that you're dealing with, a lot less resources for these guys to overachieve. And then somebody has a bad series and they get all upset at them or something like that. And that's the part that's kind of mind boggling, but it's okay. They're fans, and, but it's just in general, the people in Wisconsin, just the people, how they treat people. You go into a restaurant, how you're treated, the respect. This is when I was the bench coach or when no one knew who I was. It's just remarkable. That's why I love my kids being involved in it. That's why they're with me there full time, is that I'll make any effort to make sure that they're around that type of people. So that's what it comes down to. They're sleeping right now. That's why I'm talking kind of low.
I was going to say, I don't think this is part of your normal morning routine, but boy, are we grateful for you joining us here.
Well, I mean, I'm barely awake, but that's okay. So it's dark 100 here.
Phoenix, Arizona. So it all kicks off here in Wisconsin tomorrow. Brookfield at the Sharon Lynn Wilson Center for the Arts, and then the Dells on Saturday and lacrosse on Saturday. Eau Claire on Sunday, Wausau on Monday, and then here where I am in Green Bay at the Epic Event Center on Tuesday. Murph, you're a football guy. It all started for you at Notre Dame, and now you're coming to the mecca of football here in Green Bay next week. You've gotten the tour before, yes? You've been engaged up here a little bit?
No.
Never. Wow.
No.
Who's giving you the tour?
I'm not sure of all the names, but the Packers personnel have been gracious enough to. They're the ones that reached out. It was really kind of special.
That's really
My
cool.
kids are amped, so yeah, it'll be really special.
Do they, Murph? Do they have you in a tour bus with your face on the side?
How about this? That's not true. Okay. How about this? You mentioned that I'm going to be at some place, and the end of it was like for the arts. Like, I've never been associated with any arts in my life. So, like, this is a big thrill for me. Theater of the arts. Like, okay. Puts a little pressure on me because I just draw stick men when I'm drawing. So
I think the fans are going to get a really
out of this guy.
That's awesome. I think the fans are going to get a kick out of this. I'm excited to see you next week here in Green Bay. I'm certain if they're not sold out, they're going to be sold out. So if you're looking for tickets, look for where Murph is going to be on this tour. Brookfield, the Dells, La Crosse, Eau Claire, Wausau, Green Bay. Pat Murphy going statewide and answering questions and saying hello to the fan base before the Brewers season kicks off. Spring training not far away, Murph. We can't wait.
Yeah, there's a lot to be done between now and then, but I'm excited. I'm always excited for spring training. I love walking in the facility for the first time. I love, seeing the guys. Nothing's better. I talked to a couple of them yesterday. I try to not talk to them until January 1st. You know what I mean? Maybe I might chirp with Yelly a couple times, or I texted Contreras, but it's just try not to talk to them until, give them a break from me and hearing my ass every day, you know what I mean? And what I got to say, like, they need a break. So now it's after the first, I can, give them a call or check in on them.
Love it. Can't wait. Murph, we will see you on the road. I'll see you personally here next week. Thank you for coming on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
My pleasure, guys.
Thanks,
We'll talk soon. Milwaukee Brewers manager Pat Murphy joining us on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. If you'll excuse me, I need to go run through a wall.
Yeah. God, I love that man so much. It's so great that we have him leading the team. And, I will never forget when Council left and they appointed him, and then we had Ricky Weeks behind him, and everyone was just kind of like, okay, so Pat Murphy's just kind of like a 1-year thing until we figure something else out. Nope. He's our guy.
When we come back, our guy joins us, Tim Allen, the franchise. We'll chat with him next and learn about all the things that are about to happen here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network in regard to the Hot Stove Weekly, the pre-games, the Brewers post-games. It's his 21st season doing it. We're so glad to have him back at the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Tim Allen joins us next on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Thanks, Murph. Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. You hear that music, Josh?
Sure do.
That only means one thing. And if this doesn't give you the goosies for me, I don't know what does for you. After Pat Murphy, let's talk more Brewers with the franchise himself. Back home on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, joining us now on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Tim Allen. Tim, what's up, man? It's so good to have you back and to chat with you here on Inside Wisconsin Sports.
Trevor, Josh, a pleasure. You guys did a great job with Murph. I was texting him before the interview and saying, hey, you be nice to those guys. don't go crazy on these guys. So he maintained from what I heard. But that music there, Trevor, you mentioned it. You guys mentioned it there. Did you notice on Monday Night Football?
I did. I heard it, and I went, they're playing Timmy's walk-up song.
I was ready to throw a cease and desist on him.
That's your bit. What are they doing?
Yeah. But you say back home there, Trevor, and we have to remember I spent almost 17 years on this station here, and so it is a homecoming. That's for sure. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, so let me jump in real quick and talk about that very thing. To the rest of the state, Tim Allen may or may not be known very well, but in Milwaukee, you're an icon. Can you bring the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network up to speed on just how long you've done this, how you do this, and what we can expect from hearing you every Wednesday and, of course, every Brewers postgame?
Okay, it's a great question to introduce sort of the flow of what we've been doing. So going into the 21st season of post-game coverage in the Milwaukee area. Now, over the course of time, like you, Trevor, and Josh, we worked together at the other station.
Yep.
So, Trevor, you'd fill in on all the shows there, and I was sort of that guy too, that six-man sort of role throughout the years on several different radio stations. But back in 2006, Sparky and I had asked our boss at that time if we could do a Brewers post-game show, and he's like, you don't stand a chance in hell of making this thing work. And so challenge on. Okay, fine. I thought it could. I think the Brewers are more than just a Milwaukee thing. Now you can't compare it necessarily to the Green Bay Packers. I mean, that is on its own island. Okay. I'm not going to compare the Wisconsin sports fans love like the Green Bay Packers, but it's better than the Bucks, and no knock on the Bucks, but I think the Brewers are more of a Wisconsin thing than the Bucks are.
Agreed.
I'd almost say that you're not giving the Brewers enough credit there, Timmy.
Longevity is a big thing, Josh, and to compete with 100 years of fandom, with the Green Bay Packers and stuff. But so we talked him into it, and I said, hey, I'll do it for cheap. I was unemployed at the time, but I'll do it for cheap just this first year, and that was 2006. Brady Clark leading off for the Milwaukee Brewers in the bottom of the first inning. You got the Moutons in there. And so I made a promise to connect with Brewer fans by this, Trevor. And that is, I said to my bosses and the listeners that I'm going to be a fan first before a broadcaster. I love to broadcast, don't get me wrong, but I love the Brewers more. And that being said, I'm going to be a fan. And if that has me going off on Brady Clark or celebrating a big win by Chris Capuano at the time, I was going to do that with the audience and stay connected that way. Okay, so fast forward now, starting in 2007, Tim and Sparky with the post-game show was nearly a decade of I call them the Tim and Sparky days. And then after that, Sparky went on to bigger things and a bigger role. So I flew solo for a while, and then it was the Tim and Billy days, and those were fun times and a crazy train. And then I did it alone a little bit, and then it was Tim and Pipe Bomb days. So over this course of now 2 decades, we've developed this sort of, we're Brewer fans, and we love them. And it just, I'm really grateful that in any job, Trevor, you guys know this, Josh, bouncing around in radio is a crazy thing. Bouncing around in the finance world or the trucking industry or whatever you do for a living, 20 years is an accomplishment, especially in a really volatile industry like radio. So I'm pretty pleased that we can continue and head into our 3rd decade of talking Brewers.
No, it's amazing, Tim, and we're so happy to have you here, and we're looking forward to having you on this show too. Anyone that's listening right now, we're going to be checking in with Tim Allen for sure every week, because Tim, that's exactly what Trevor and I say as we do this show, is that we are fans. I tell people, don't tell me how to fan, because that is what comes
dangerous thing.
But that's what comes first. That's what comes first is that emotion of being a Wisconsin sports fan. And there's no bigger emotional roller coaster ride than the summer of Milwaukee Brewers baseball. And you talking about 2006, it was 2007 when everything kind of turned around, right?
Yeah.
That was when Braun, Fielder, Weeks, Hart, it all kind of was, hey, the Brewers might have something here. And then I don't really feel like we've really looked back.
No, not at all. And we've changed the landscape of Brewers baseball and throughout the state of Wisconsin here. You guys know, Josh just said it, roller coaster ride every season. Now for a good chunk of years here, I remember breaking through in 2008. And you're right, in 2007, they were just that one game off. They were just right there to break that 26-year playoff drought. And in 2008, they break through. And boy, what a celebration that was. And it was really fun to be a part of. And being connected with this baseball team at that time was just crazy because, 26 years. Now, at the same time, I think there's a positive way to be critical. But that being said, it's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to, as Josh said, don't tell someone how to fan. And it was okay at that time to be frustrated with a 26-year playoff drought. Trevor, this wasn't 26 years without winning the title. This was 26 years of not even getting into the tournament
of relevancy.
But now you look at the run that they're on, all the division titles, and you're right there at the doorstep and a big series victory, in 2011 to get to the NLCS, and 2018 was a monster team, and you're right there, Game 7 of the NLCS, and then last year you're into the NLCS. It's been really, really fun.
A lot of fans, we're talking with Tim Allen, the franchise, and back on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network every Wednesday with Tommy Wartz. We're calling it the Hot Stove Weekly. Plus, once the Brewers season starts, Tim Allen and the postgame show will be back. You were talking about 26 years, Tim. I was born in 1983 when the Packers went to the playoffs. When the Brewers went to the playoffs in 2008. That was the first time in my lifetime. So to say that we celebrated that is an understatement. And there's a lot of Packers fans that think back to the 70s and 80s and go, good God. And they don't necessarily take today for granted that we're making the playoffs or that we've won 2 Super Bowls since Brett Favre in that era. And here we are as Brewers fans, horribly frustrated about money and no salary cap in the MLB and being crushed even after a season when we had 97 wins and the Dodgers do what they did. And I'm over here going, hello, 2008, guys.
Yeah.
And then from then to now, it's been a completely different ball game. So how do you balance the fan that is like me, who's going, I will take this all day long, versus the fan that's used to this now, who goes, we need to spend more money.
That is just so pivotal because this is an age thing, Trevor. It's as you said, if you're 22, 23, 24 years old, I mean, the last as you can remember, you're probably 8, 9, 10 years old by the time you sort of pick up Brewers baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You are used to winning now. I mean, that's just your thing. But see, I can go back to, Pete Broberg and Billy Champion of the 70s, and just where was this? Who were these guys? I mean, and then you fast forward a little bit, and you get to, as Josh pointed out, the Braun and Weeks and Fielder and J.J. Hardy and Bill Hall. Mm-hmm. And then you advance a little bit more, and you get to the Christian Yelich and Lorenzo Canes. And I like your jersey there, Josh, that Anthony Siegler jersey. That's pretty cool. And then most recently, we can talk about the Anthony Sieglers or Brandon Lockridges, all of those things. It is a generational thing. It's really fun getting used to winning. That's the cool part, is that they're doing it again, guys. And I know you guys will cover this. They're doing it again. All the projections. Murphy you just talked to the Brewers manager, Pat Murphy, about that. He mentioned that last year. No one expected them to do anything. They're doing it again. The same people are writing the same things for another year, and the Brewers just continually go out there and prove them wrong. We can all get used to winning, but I think it might be a little bit sweeter if you got some age under you and you remember the losing for all those years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I'm literally looking back at the win percentage year by year for the Brewers, looking in my lifetime. I mean, 92, they were above 500, but then I was born in 90. So, going to County Stadium and then going to Miller Park, and it wasn't until 2005. And I remember when they won that game to be 81-81, go exactly 500, and that was
losing season.
And that was the celebration, Tim. That was it. That was, everyone was going crazy because they didn't win the division. They didn't go close. They were third, but it was just, hey, we are middle. We are okay.
we're not out of the playoff hunt by the time
that's right.
Packers training camp starts. Dan Needles on WISN 12 used to tell me that in my childhood all the time. Packers training camp starts next week, and the Brewers are officially out of the playoffs.
That's it. And relevant baseball used to be the goal for the Milwaukee Brewers. Relevant baseball in August and September. And boy, they've far surpassed that.
But Timmy, beyond. But that's the difference. You just said it. That was the goal, right? I think that's why we talk about how expectations have changed. Yeah, you might not, if you have just since 2007 been a Brewer fan, maybe you aren't appreciating the wins as much, but this organization has made enough moves and changed the culture enough to where I don't think it's unreasonable to say we want more.
No doubt. No question about it. I think it's okay, and I think it's fair to do that, because at some level, the perennial playoff appearances, don't you have to change a little something? I know it's risky, and I know that there's only one team that can win the World Series. I fully understand that. But at some point, don't you think they have to, here's the lightning rod, go all in, right? So at some point, isn't it a Christian Yelich that has to be signed again? A guy like, I'm not saying Christian, but I'm saying a guy like that in his prime. A guy like Bo Bichette, a guy like Kyle Tucker, one of the elite pitchers that are at some point, and I'm not going to debate quite yet when that is, but don't you agree that just knocking on the door at some point isn't enough? And you've earned these expectations, and it's okay. Is it World Series or bust for the Brewers? I'm not sure about that. We can have that conversation. But should it be? I mean, maybe at some point it probably will be and should be.
Tim, we got time for one more. Tim Allen, the franchise, joining us on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. We got that hard out in about 5 minutes, Tim.
Yep.
So as we chat here to end our conversation, and we can't wait to hear you back on the radio tonight from 5 to 7, Hot Stove Weekly with Tim Allen and Tommy Wirtz. Brewers baseball is right around the corner. You mentioned earlier that you do this as a fan, and I think that's what Brewers fans love most. Josh and I do this as fans as well. That's what we're dedicated to this morning show. We want to talk about Wisconsin sports like Wisconsin sports fans. And some Wisconsin sports and sports people we love, and some not so much. People rip on me all the time for hating Aaron Rodgers. So how do you, as the tenured broadcaster that you are, bring your fandom to life while also giving us all the information about the team that we know and love?
Yep. I'll give you the example, Joey Ortiz. Ooh, boy. Joey, come on, baby. I want you to do well. I do. I want you to do well. But when you're not doing well, I can't ignore it. I'm not going to call you an idiot like some sportscasters would. Oh, that guy's an idiot. I will never do that. I would never call names or anything like that. I would say things like this. It's like, Joey, until you start hitting, man, I don't know if the D is good enough to keep you in there. Okay? Because hey, were other fans thinking the same thing? Probably. Joey, you got to start hitting, dude. Come on. Okay? It's things like that. But we will get into the numbers, Trevor, to answer your question. Get into the numbers when they're relevant to that conversation. And we're good enough broadcasters here that we can do that. We can be a fan, and then, hey, Joey Ortiz, here's what we're talking about here. His on-base percentage was only 272. Or, we can go on and on and on about the numbers to back that up. But at the end of the day, anybody in a Brewers uniform, anybody connected with this Brewers organization, I want, and actually as a fan, need you to be successful, to have some fun, and we're looking forward to the 26th championship season.
Tim Allen, Tommy Wirtz, the Hot Stove Weekly, every Wednesday from 5 to 7. Timmy, it is so good to hear your voice back on this station and the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Yeah, we're happy to be back too, brother.
Yeah, when things blew up at the other place, man, it was really good. You had a landing spot.
Yeah,
very appreciative.
Welcome back.
All right, man. We'll talk every Wednesday, right?
We'll talk to you later on today, and hopefully we'll talk with you every Wednesday throughout the season. We can't wait, bud.
You got
Good to chat with you, Timmy.
Yep.
Thanks, Tim.
Tim Allen, the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Well, now what? That was the greatest Brewers hour ever.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Doug Gottlieb.
That's right. Doug Gottlieb. Quite possibly the greatest segment in the history. No, that's a bit much. Definitely all week for us.
Yeah.
8 a.m. every Wednesday morning. Happy Wednesday with Doug Gottlieb. You, Josh, spent some time with us here in Green Bay last Friday and got to meet Doug.
Yeah, and you know what? They won that game, and they've won since. I'm not going to say it's all because of me, but you can't deny it.
Hey, 4 in a row, man. Two
That's
before
true.
that, two
That's
now.
True. Well, those other two were luck. The one since.
Luck. What'd you think of GB basketball in your new your fascination with quarter zips here in Northeast Wisconsin blew my mind.
It is
what was all that about?
Crazy.
You're wearing one now. I got you a GB Phoenix one as well, but
yeah. I mean, it is insane. When we were out, I mean, the quarter zip game in Green Bay is on a completely different level. It's like 75% quarter zips. I'm not even just talking guys, gals too. It's, should I wear this shirt? Nah, quarter zip. Should I wear this quarter zip? No, wear your good quarter zip tonight. It is crazy. It was crazy. I was like, you get a quarter zip. You get a quarter zip.
You literally
get a quarter zip.
We're at this spot called the Black Sheep Pub and Grill after the game. And Josh walks in a quarter zip, by the way, and goes, look at this, quarter zip, quarter zip, quarter zip. And then you ask me, do you own anything other than quarter zips? Yes, I do.
Yeah,
a
couple of hoodies.
2 or 3. Yeah, a couple of hoodies.
Couple of hoodies.
It'll be black t-shirt season, not before long. The head coach of UW Green Bay men's basketball, Doug Gottlieb, joins us next. Our thanks to Pat Murphy. Our thanks to Tim Allen. Our thanks to Doug Gottlieb. When we have these guys on this show for all of you out there in the state of Wisconsin, please know that we have just as much fun talking to them as we hope you do listening to them. It is not lost on Josh and I that we just got to talk to Pat Murphy, and we get to talk to Doug Gottlieb every week. We'll do that again next here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
There is Coach Doug Gottlieb via UWGB after the win against Northern Kentucky this past Sunday. The final, Green Bay 80, Northern Kentucky 78. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Wednesday. It's 8 a.m. None other than Coach Doug Gottlieb joins us now on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all.
Nice
Happy
quarter
Wednesday,
zip.
DG.
Nice quarter zip I see you're wearing today, DG.
You like this one? This is the gray quarter zip. I do. I'll let you in a little quarter zip secret in a second. Got my compound coffee ready to go. What could be better? Just beautiful, balmy day at the Bay. I was driving home last night. I went to a high school game down near Madison. We're recruiting a 2027. I don't think I'm allowed to say his name. Anyway, I'm driving back and I was like, man, really weird. There's no snow on the ground now, right? It was like, are we not going to have, and then I started looking at my phone, like, are we ever going to have some substantial snow? Now, we don't have snow today, but the wind is howling. Mother Nature, not happy with your boy. But other than that, everything's great. Good morning to you guys.
DG, 6 out of the last 7 for GB men's basketball. Pause. Dude, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, look slightly better than last year.
Yeah, a little bit.
Slightly. But yeah, it's been awesome. Obviously the kids are really playing well, especially locking in on what we think a good game plan is. We've made some tweaks, obviously changing the starting lineup, changing rotation. We changed some defensive things as well, and we're seeing the benefit. Now I got to go on the road and play against former player, which didn't go well last time we did it. So we'll see, but I don't know. Like Sunday we play at home against Oakland. Greg Campy is probably the one. I think Darren Horn is Northern Kentucky team. They're really good, really, really good, really talented. That O'Day kid, holy cow! We told them he was like Westbrook, and they didn't believe us. And then they're like, "Holy coach, he's like Westbrook." But only he hit 5 threes against us. But if you can't, like, what are you doing Sunday if you can't get to the Crest in Green Bay or in the Fox River Valley? Like, it's going to be a fun atmosphere, a great game. I know we got other things to get to, but 1:00 Sunday at the Crest. It's not just that our games that we're playing better and winning games; they're entertaining games. It's good basketball. And for whatever reason, we don't actually want to win them by a lot of points. We're like, hey, we
get up by a lot of points. You get up by a lot of points.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing about being an underdog and still winning is you're not questioning your players. Like, are you guys shaving points? Like, so we're not point shaving. We just don't know how to deal with success sometimes. Like, don't do that thing.
Doug, we've been talking all show about just getting excited for college basketball. Obviously, the success of UWGB has been awesome. We also saw the Badgers program with a huge win over Michigan, and then a big buzzer beater, the first buzzer beater in almost a decade from the Badgers last night. As someone who's focusing on their own team and program, but then also looking at what's happening around the state, what was your reaction seeing that buzzer beater?
Last night, I mean, remember, we almost lost. We lost to Minnesota in overtime, and they hit like a half court shot that was just after the buzzer. So I'm like, oh my, like and it's fascinating to watch Coach Gard after the game talk to his players. I'm like, I've been there. I know that locker room. It's super tight. It's not comfortable. But I thought, I mean, what a virtuoso they put on in Ann Arbor. We watched the whole game. I mean, just so you know, Josh, my assistant coach, Kerry Rupp, who's 71 years old, and you're like, oh, he's coached ever. He was in Indiana with Mike Davis, and the coach of Indiana was Dusty May was a manager then. So we're very close to their program. We share ideas, and those guys talk all the time together. So we watched the game, and the Badgers played great, and obviously they needed it because they had struggled in some of those big games previous to that. They hadn't been playing as well and kind of got thumped even at home. So, but last night I'm watching that thing, I was like, I mean, that's just, you prepare them for it, but there's so many things that you're processing, right? So they come down, Cade Tyson, right, hit the three from Minnesota.
Yep.
And like you said, okay, now lock in, and Blackwell comes down, and they just didn't stop the ball. So it's one of the things where you got to work on it time and again, where yes, you're worried about scoring, but what happens if it goes in? What happens if you miss? And then if it goes in, okay, do we press? Are we in a zone press? Are we in a man press? Are we trying to, because I mean, don't get me wrong, it's an amazing shot, but it wasn't that difficult a shot. Like that's that's a transition three. That's something kids practice all the time. You got to make them take a tougher shot than that if you're Minnesota. And I'm sure that's what Nico's telling his group. Like, yeah, you lost on a shot and it's devastating. You're playing well, all those things. But here's what we can learn from it, which is you can't, I don't care how dynamic a player is, and Blackwell's a dynamic scorer, so you don't want to foul, but you have to level him off. You have to force him into some sort of uncomfortable. If he hits one over, four hands, two guys, falling out of bounds, you tip your cap. What are you going to do? Because ours was kind of similar. It was a little bit further out, but they threw the ball in bounds, and our guys kind of got out of the way because they didn't want to foul. And like, you just got to stay between him and the basket and make him if he makes it over, it's like the Milwaukee game. You make it over Ramel Bethea, like, all right, what are we going to do? That's the best we can do. But you do have to work on, you make the shot, just everybody corral the guys, keep them in front of you, and try and make a half court or beyond shot.
UW Green Bay men's basketball head coach Doug Gottlieb joining us here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Yeah, Josh exists. He was here on Friday, hung out with us at the Crest Center, went to the Black Sheep, somehow drove home. I don't know why.
Oh, I was fine. I was absolutely fine. It was good. I had a great time. And
were you Wisconsin fine, or were you actually fine?
He was fine.
Hey, I made it home. No problem.
That's Josh. That's not actually like. Not actually.
In Josh's defense, yes. I tried to keep feeding them beers, and he did politely turn them down. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it, but let's just, for the record, I've been hit by a drunk driver. You weren't drunk, okay? So just for people, I'm
right. Please clarify. I was not.
Yeah. But Wisconsin fine is not fine, okay? It's not one of those like, it's only my third DUI. Yeah. Like, come on, dude.
Well, if something would have happened, I think they would have been like, "Oh, you're wearing a quarter zip. Okay, you're fine," and then probably let me go. Because as I pointed out at Black Sheep, I literally stopped Trevor and I went quarter zip, quarter zip, quarter zip, lady in a quarter zip, quarter zip, quarter zip, quarter zip. Then you walk in, quarter zip. Well, I was like, "What is the quarter zip culture in Green Bay? This is nuts."
I don't know. I've never been a quarter zip guy, and now coaches have all gone to the quarter zips, and in all candor, so partnership with Nicolay Bank, so they have, I have to wear something that says Nicolay Bank on my quarter zip. And then I've worn the same quarter zip in all of our recent wins. I didn't wear it when we lost to Campbell and when we lost to Wright State. it also, here's the gross part, hasn't been washed.
Let's go.
Oh,
Let's go.
Hasn't been
See,
washed.
Trevor, don't throw it out. Whatever you do, don't throw it out after a game.
Throw it
Just
out. We're winning. I'm not. Don't mess with the winning streak, dude.
Well,
Okay?
I know it's just a crazy thought.
So
to think
here's
about.
again. Here's what you do. So what happened? Like, this is a real thing. We get back from the Virgin Islands, right? And we're getting ready. Who are we playing at home? Or I think it was Santa Barbara is when this thing started. Is that when we played? I can't remember. And I was like, what did I wear in the Virgin Islands when we were playing well? So we have because our staff, we have a group text, and they all wear the same thing. I think it looks better that way. And then I kind of do my own thing usually. So when we were in the Virgin Islands, I wore shorts, and somehow people thought that was like, we got an email from somebody who was like a GB fan, like, if you want to be a real program, like, wear pants. Like, stop. It has no effect on us winning games. They were Adidas golf shorts. It looked good. Anyway, so we have a golf polo that's gray and says Phoenix, and then I wear the white quarter zip with the Nicolay on the side. So I started wearing that, and then we wore something different at Wright State, and then I didn't bring it till when we played Campbell. Anyway, so that shirt and that quarter zip have not been washed in like a month. And we have recruits there. We had alumni there this past weekend. And I want to say, like, hey, I don't smell great after a game. Like, I'm up there sweating. I'm schwitzing. If anybody else is Jewish outside, you're like, oh, he's schwitzing. Yeah, I'm schwitzing. But imagine schwitzing in what we won 7 of 10, is that right? Or 7 of 9? What do we won? 7 of 10, 7 of 9, I think. Whatever. All 7 wins have been in the same polo and quarter zip, and they have not been washed.
I don't care if it has dirt on it. You wear that thing.
I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious. It's like, I don't want to get to the pearly gates and like St. Peter's, like, had you worn the same quarter zip, you would. Like, I don't actually, I don't actually believe in superstition, but I don't want to not believe in superstition. So that's how we're going about it.
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
You got to keep wearing it.
I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious.
All right, DG, big day tomorrow. We are at Cleveland State. 6 out of 7 in a row, and you see Foster wonders, and Cleveland's not a state. So how are we going to go get this one and come home on Sunday against Oakland?
Well, there's also Ice Emery, who was signed to play here under Sonny, and then he chose to go to Western Carolina last year, and he was in the portal this year. He went to Cleveland State. He's a great kid. I think he played at Neenah High School. So I don't know how we're going to react. I know it better be better than how we reacted with Jeremiah Johnson, who gave us his career high. My former starting 2 guard last year, he had a career high like 27, and it was like buddy ball to start the game. Like, he hit a couple of shots, and they were like kind of like smiling, like, no, we're not going to do that again. So I don't know. I love Foster. He's an awesome human being. He just like the rest of us. We all went through it last year, and I think he just needed a fresh start. So I mean, the scouting report with Foster is like, don't let him shoot. Right? He's an elite shooter. They're an awesome offensive team. Awesome. And so we have to continue to play at our pace. We scored 51 the first half against Northern Kentucky, and hardly any of them were transition baskets. We were just really, really spacing them and using their matchup zone against them. And then we made shots. I mean, we had 80% of our threes, 73% of our field goals. But the point is that we can score plenty of points without playing at somebody else's pace. We actually play at the slowest pace in the league, despite the fact that we're scoring about 75 a game, just in terms of volume of shots. Part of it is we get to the free throw line a lot. So we got to learn that playing on the road is different. We've been trying to be more physical and be the team that hits first, and that's worked pretty well for us. You got to operate with the understanding that you're probably not going to get as many calls on the road as you do at home. And we got to be really good defensively. We got to defend the 3-point line, something that we've done, taking away the thing about NKU is we took away their two best shooters. It was everybody else that got hot. We got to do this. The problem with Cleveland State is they kind of all shoot it well. So it's going to be a challenge to all 5 players to still maintain our gaps and take away the basket while challenging shots. It's hard because they can really score. And if you get caught up in one of these up and down games, I don't think we have the firepower to play at that pace. We got to play at our pace.
We are talking to Doug Gottlieb here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Doug, I do it every week. I'm going to do it again here, bringing up something non-basketball related. Obviously, we saw the Packers blow another game to the Bears, and their season ends. The conversation immediately moves to Matt LaFleur. Should he be brought back? We're hearing the conversations, negotiations taking place, trying to make that happen. Do you think that Matt LaFleur will be back as the head coach of the Packers? And is that the right decision?
I have no idea if he'll be back. My assumption is he will. You don't enter negotiations with a guy if you don't have the intentions of bringing him back, right? I mean, I think, and should he? I would say yes. Again, full disclosure, I'm new to this town, right? I mean, I think we all know this, but I can tell you that, he kind of resurrected Aaron Rodgers' career. I think if we're all honest with ourselves, we all like Jordan Love. I just don't know how good Jordan Love actually is, right? Is Matt LaFleur responsible for us thinking that Jordan Love is the next superstar quarterback? Or does Matt LaFleur hold Jordan Love back from being the superstar quarterback? I don't, we all understand where I'm going with this discussion. Like, I think he's got to be really good as a play caller, offensive guy. And, I don't think he's lost the team. I mean, look, they had an unbelievable game plan. The kicker had inarguably the worst game of his career. They left 7 points on the field. And even if you go, hey, it's Soldier Field, it's hard to kick there. Great. Okay. You can't leave 7 points on the field. And what killed him was the third quarter, where you don't get a first down the first 2 drives. And now your defense was just exhausted in the second half. And the dam finally broke, right? That's literally what happened. And they're built, if you look at the construction of this roster, by my estimation, okay, without talking to Gutekunst about it, when you bring in a Micah Parsons, you have a smaller, more athletic defense. The idea is a lot like the Indianapolis Colts with Peyton Manning, right? You have the better quarterback, you have the better offense, you get a lead, and now they're not going to run the ball, so you pin your ears back and you can get after the passer. Well, you take Micah Parsons out of it, and the construct of the defense is very, very different. It's a long way of saying I don't know how much of it was coaching and how much of it was, one, the players got tight, and 2, they didn't have a good depth of talent at the end of the season because they were so banged up. But they're going to bring him back. They wouldn't enter negotiations otherwise. And, I do think it's the right thing to do, considering if you're honest with yourself, the team was just completely depleted by injury. You're going to have to change some coordinators probably. Obviously, special teams has been a sore spot all year. But I don't think. I also don't understand, why do you have to give somebody a new contract? This is I know that everybody. He's got a year left.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like recruiting where you got to the coach has to have 4 years left or I'm not going to sign there, right? We're all essentially on 1-year deals. I don't know. Do you have to? He has a contract for next year. Go coach.
I just don't think the Packers want to give up the power in negotiation. If he goes next year, does great things, it's going to cost them even more, indeed, if they want to keep him. Where right now they're sitting down at a negotiation table saying, hey, we don't think we're going to pay you 18 to 20 million, but we could probably pay you 12 to 15. And if he goes into his last year of his contract and wins the Super Bowl next year, well, now he's super expensive. Maybe it's worth it.
There's no salary cap on coaches, so it doesn't. If you win it, if your biggest problem is how much should we pay our Super Bowl champion coach, these are first world problems.
That's
right?
That's fair.
So, could not agree more, Doug.
I mean, look, here's the issue. I didn't like what Schefter did on Sunday. on ESPN where he started talking about John Harbaugh because of some connection with the former president of the Packers and the agent. He showed us where he gets his information, right? Where the agent calls him and goes, you know, who'll be a great candidate for the Packers? John Harbaugh, my guy, and here's why. But it's like, and I like John Harbaugh, but John Harbaugh has blown more games than the Ravens blew more games in the second half than the Packers ever have, right? So the point is, and we do this in coaching all the time. If you want to fire him, and I understand it, like emotions were, I was hot. I'm watching the TV as a Charger fan as well. This happened against Jacksonville 4 years ago. And I want to get to that in 1 second. I know you guys are tight on time, but the point is this: who's going to definitely be better? And if you're going to bring in somebody different, remember, you run the risk of changing all the verbiage, everything that Jordan Love knows. This is all he knows, right? And when you start changing all these other things within the structure of your team, you change the language to the quarterback, and there's going to be an adjustment period. Now, it may be for the better, but you do run the risk of it being for the worse. And so if the worst thing you get is a really disappointing loss to the Bears and a consistency of success, and look, losing your last 5 is a killer. Okay. And it's one of those ones that where, you know, the Vikings one didn't matter, but it does when people point out you lost 5 in a row. Or you go back to last year when they lost to the Bears and you lose a star wide receiver and you're like, well, look, you lose your last 2 games of the season again. I understand those things. But I'm telling you, if you're going to fire him, who are you going to hire that is going to immediately make you better? And I don't know if that answer absolutely exists. That's the issue with it. Because all these other guys are on the market for a reason, right? Like, I think Mike McDaniel's awesome, but the culture in Miami was terrible. Okay? I love John Harbaugh, but it was clear he couldn't get along with Lamar Jackson, and they lost a bunch of leads. I mean, Mike Tomlin, I think he's the best, but they've been 9-7 like every year for the last, like, it seems like last 10 years. So, you know, it's the devil you know versus the devil you don't. And you also have to give him the benefit of the doubt of like, okay, all those blitzes in the second half, if Tucker Kraft's in there, that's who they find over the middle. Like, it's a completely different football team. If it's not like you lost, you know, a cornerback or you lost a right guard. Like, you lost Micah Parsons. You lost, you lost Tucker Kraft. Like, that was your best wide receiver. I know he's a tight end, but that was his blanket. That was his go-to whoopee, if you will.
Yeah.
In the first half of the season. And then you lose your best defensive player. So let's be honest and real. And even that, the kicker left 7 points on the field. You should have won the football game.
The best part about that Adam Schefter take is that he can't tweet at you and tell you to get in the gym because you're 10-8, baby. Let's go.
It's not personal towards Adam Schefter. Here's the thing. There's one rule in talking about coaching searches. Josh, do you know the rule?
No, let me know.
You don't talk about a job until that job is open. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. You don't talk about a job. Everybody knows that rule. And Adam Schefter, again, I get it. He got some information. He wanted to go with it. But, like, it's not even the body is warm. There's still a pulse there, dude. You know?
Yeah, Craig Counsell didn't get the memo either, but I digress.
Yeah.
No, it's just, again, it's the same thing. You don't talk about a job unless that job is open. Everybody knows that. And Schefter obviously violated that one. And then he violated it because he was doing a favor to an agent. That's how you get your information. That's how that game works. So
almost as dirty as that quarter zip.
Here's that's pretty good. Solid work out of you. Here's the one thing that I'm gonna warn, and we're going through it as well, right? The one thing I'm gonna warn Packer fans for next year, I'm a Charger and a Packer fan. Okay, I can do it. NFC, AFC. My dream of them being in the Super Bowl, and the Chargers got destroyed because of injury, right? They got the 2 best tackles in football. They're not playing, and their offensive line got pummeled. But next year, like, there's PTSD from that loss. It's a real thing. Like, look, we suffer from it. Like, our guys, we're up 21 again or 19 to Northern Kentucky, right? And then I was like, oh, here we go again. And they just start pelting threes. You're like, oh, because this is kind of what's happened. I can tell you as a Charger fan that next year, like that after the Jacksonville game, like no lead was safe. And it takes a while to regain that confidence. And now it's with the Bears too. And how obnoxious is he? Like Ben Johnson's obnoxious. Like I first of all, if you just don't do the clown stuff and go for it on fourth down and try to run the trick plays, he's actually really, really good. He's an outstanding offensive coordinator, play caller. Where they get them, it's just like with the Lions. Like the Lions cost themselves a Super Bowl shot 2 years, was it 3 years ago against San Francisco, going for it on fourth down sometimes, not going for it, not being aligned or whatever. But like you win the game, shake the guy's hand. Like, what are we doing here? Win with some class. Okay, win with some class. That's what you do in sports. And it wouldn't if the Packers did that, I would have the exact same thing to say. I thought it was completely classless, and it reeked of a guy in an organization that hadn't done it before, And it's kind of like Trevor when we beat Milwaukee. Like people want me to like hate Bart. Like I'm not gonna. Bart hasn't done anything to me other than kick my ass twice. That's it. Right? So I got no bone. I'm not gonna create some hatred when we're between the lines. Yeah, I want to beat his ass. I want my team to win. Okay, but when we're done, we shake hands like men. Last year he kicked my ass. I looked him in the eye and shook his hand, and I'm gonna do the same if we beat him down in Milwaukee. It's like I have no time for that because I don't think it's what did the Packers do to Ben Johnson other than dominate them for the last decade?
Yeah, that's that. It's pretty fair. And he's just playing the villain. Whatevs. All right, buddy. Hey, good luck tomorrow at Cleveland State. You don't look a day over 49. We can't wait to see you on Sunday. What?
Well, Trevor's he's sharing information that I don't know.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's my 50th birthday.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
It is.
Happy birthday.
I turned 50 years old. I told, I got Andy Grounds, my assistant coach, and he shared with me a picture of us like 15 years ago. And I was like, hey, dude, you nailed it. You went bald early. If you go bald early, no one knows how old you are, right? You look old young, and you look young when you're old, right? Like Trevor's forever going to look this old. Like he will never age from this moment. 20 years from now, he'd be like, Trevor, you never age.
Yeah,
right.
I can see it now. I hate it
is
so
crazy.
much.
Hey, can we listen? Can we get 3,000 people at the Crest on Sunday?
Yeah, let's do
that.
that.
What else are you doing? Packers aren't playing. You don't want to watch anybody else play. Don't give me this like get in your car. We got beer there. We got beer deals. If you're a high school coach or an AAU coach, call us, text us. We can get you guys free tickets, except for freshmen. Do you know this rule, Trevor?
Yeah, it's recruitment, right?
Yes, but I can give free tickets to 10th graders, 11th graders, 12th graders, 7th graders, 8th graders, to you, to anybody on my street. I can't give free tickets to freshmen in high school. I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. I can recruit a player. If I had it, I could give him $1 million to come and play for Green Bay with NIL, right? I can't give a freshman from Preble High School a free ticket. So here's the thing. Again,
wow.
High school basketball players, we want you to see great basketball. Women's, men's. By the way, the women play tonight. Come to the Crest, pack that sucker tonight as well. Okay? Yeah. But reach out to us, to me, to Keel Gans, or to our ticket office. Tell them Coach G told you to call, and we will set you up because we want you to see great basketball. And then if you're a fan or if you're a parent, bring them. And we got good cold beer there that you can enjoy.
Love it.
Doug Gottlieb, GB men's head basketball coach, joining us on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. DG, we got to let you go. We got like a half an hour worth of commercials to play between now and 9 o'clock. Happy birthday, buddy. It's great to have you. We'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
Thanks, Doug.
Day over 49. Rip on my Christmas card again.
Oh, come on. Yeah. He was spot on, by the way, of you're going to be like 72, look exactly the same. I'm going to be 10 years in the ground.
Here's the
hating
problem.
you.
I kind of look 72 now.
Oh,
That's
please.
just not, it's not a good thing. All right. Little bit of Would You Rather Wednesday when we come back. Whew, what a show.
What
Let's go.
a show.
Half hour left. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. A little Would You Rather Wednesday here on Inside Wisconsin Sports. Our thanks to Doug Gottlieb for jumping on. I love this text, and then we'll get to it. Bob in Minneapolis says, great conversation. Love the show. How could you not pull for Doug Gottlieb?
It's a great point. It's a great point. And it's just so awesome to see already what he's done and just proving the haters wrong 1 year ago.
Yeah, don't call it a comeback. All right,
Yeah, right.
Josh, here's my one and only would you rather question for you today. I know you have one for me, and then there's an interesting one on the Nicolay Law fan talking text line.
Yeah, let's do it.
414-677-1250. So we got to sit courtside at UWGB on Friday night. Had a great time thanks to my buddy Tim at Margaritas.
Yeah, which was amazing.
Hang with him. Yeah, Margaritas was incredible. So too are the margaritas themselves. And then the beers and then the drinks. I mixed a little too much. Had a great time.
Yeah, you
ride home.
had a couple 2-tree.
Yeah, I didn't drive.
No.
Would you rather sit where Mark Antanasio sits and get to hear all of the chatter from the Brewers dugout and the on deck circle, that area, or would you rather sit front row on the 50-yard line at a Green Bay Packers game and get to hear all of that chatter?
See, I feel like I would go not 50 if I was on the sideline. If I was on the sideline at a Packers game, I think then I'd choose that over being in Mark Antanasio's seats. I feel like even if I'm front row on the 50-yard line, like I'm still just a little too far away to where I want to hear the conversations. I want to hear what Matt LaFleur is saying to a player as they're running off the field.
You'd be surprised. You can hear quite a bit. I've done that one time. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've never sat, though, down by the Brewers dugout. So this one's a little bit lost on me, but I'm curious what yours is.
Yeah. I think I'd still go Lambeau.
Yeah,
I think I'd still go Lambeau.
It's an experience. You do hear some things and see some things that you don't know exist. Now, the bad part is they're crappy seats to watch football because you really can't see over much. So the entertainment for you is getting to hear all the things on the sideline. It's a good time. It's been a long time since I've sat there, but I've never sat there at AmFam Field, so I kind of want to try that once.
Yeah.
Mark, if you're listening.
Hey, Mark. Yeah. I know a guy. Yeah, Trevor here.
Checkbook, too.
All right, here's my would you rather, and this one goes out to not just you, but all of our listeners here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Would you rather, you can only choose one, that loses their job, Rich Bisaccia or Doc Rivers?
Rich Bisaccia.
Okay.
Yours is Doc?
I know that you're saying Rich Bisaccia just because your love of Bucks basketball is much lower than the Green Bay Packers. But it's a head coach. And it's never been more blatantly obvious that you have to move on from a head coach. As much as, and this is why this has been such a hard question for me to answer. And I said, screw it, I'm going to ask it as a would you rather. Because obviously I want both of them to be gone. I preached that since like week 2 of the Packers season that Rich Bisaccia needed to go. Doc Rivers is well beyond his time, and his role on that team is so much bigger than Rich's is. And so between the two, if I only had one pink slip to hand out, it's going to Doc Rivers.
Is there a culture problem with the Bucks or an execution problem?
Okay. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Add that to the list of things we'll talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow's show is completely planned out.
True.
I'm going to complain about Aaron Rodgers being a culture killer. We're going to talk about whether the culture's wrong at the Bucks or if it's just a blip on the screen. I don't think we're going to get Pat Murphy back tomorrow, but hey, you don't know unless you try, Trev.
Who knows?
Here's one on the Nicolay Law fan talking text line, 414-677-1250. The 920 says, would you rather sit in an indoor building and watch your daughter play 3 softball games on Sunday afternoon, or sit inside by your fireplace? Which, by the way, normally she says that she plays 50 to 60 games a year anyways. So, hey, fireplace and football or daughter softball for 3 games inside? I don't think I can answer this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I also don't know that I'm going to give you the politically correct answer, which is you watch that girl play softball. That's the answer.
Got to do it.
Yep. 100%. Because when those 50, 60 games are done and there's not a season of 50, 60 more, you're going to be missing every single time.
Trace Adkins, you're going to miss this.
Yep.
Rikers got a game tonight. Definitely not skipping that one like I did for you on Friday.
Yeah. Yeah. And you had a terrible time, too. Did he win?
Awful. Did he win?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm forgetting.
Trevor.
I feel like we definitely talked about this, but now I can't remember.
Dad only watches winners. You don't even know.
He definitely won. We talked about how he played. He didn't score. He took a basketball off the face, I learned. Like right off the face. That's such a my family thing. I think they won. Oh, my God. I'm so embarrassed.
Woo. Oh, well,
when
sorry.
do we come back on it? God.
Here's a rake.
Oh,
Go ahead,
God.
step on it.
I just Here's a rake. Let's step on it.
Hey, look at the time.
No, I just got a text from my wife. 3 letters. OMG.
Okay.
You should be embarrassed. Well, I am. Did they win? Will you tell me if they won, please, so I can get out of
this?
this?
Answer the question.
Yeah. All right, I'm sweaty. When do we come back? What's up, Wisconsin? What are you doing tonight? I'm watching my son play basketball. Like a good dad.
Go, Riker! Woo!
Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Back in a second. Oh, my God. Tell me if you won.
Josh want to know.
What's up?
What's up, Wisconsin?
What's up?
What's your plan for the day?
What's up?
What are you doing tonight?
What's up?
Let us know what's up on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Law fan talking text line 414-677-1250. What's up, Wisconsin? What do you have going on today in the world of sports and or your life? Shoot us a text and let us know.
The first thing I'm going to do is still try to figure out if Riker won his game. Do we have an answer on that?
We don't. Hold on. So apparently we talked about it via text on Friday night when you and I were out.
Yep.
I'm scrolling back.
Well, first tell everyone what Amanda said to you during the break when you she said OMG and then she said
I'm not telling you. You want me to just,
incredible.
I'm getting there. Hold on.
Makes
Friday.
you work for it.
Friday. We're
love
headed to game went really well. I think it was 41-24 or something like that. Riker had a good defensive game, allowed himself to get hit in the face with a ball. Okay, so if the game went really well and it was 41-24, that means we won. But it does not say in this text in my defense that we won. And I have a photographic memory. And if she would have said we won 41-24, I would have known.
There you go.
No, that's a bunch of bull. You know what? In the break, I went on this app that we have called Team Reach. And I was like, all right, I'm going to get on this one. I'm going to look. Here we go. Boys review against Riverside. Oh, game recap. Click. Nothing. No game recap.
Nope. Love it.
They won. They won.
Whew. That's awesome.
I told you I had a couple 2-3 cocktails on Friday.
No, that's that's amazing.
They won. Okay, good. Hopefully they win tonight as well. What are you doing tonight?
Oh, what am I doing? Well, it's bowling night, but I've got to figure out if I'm actually bowling tonight or not, because we have a lot of guys on our team, and there's like a rotating schedule of guys. So I have it down on the calendar, but I might not be actually bowling. I'll tell you this, if I'm not, it's going to be all hands on deck getting ready for Bowling with the Chumps, my charity event, which I'm hoping we can talk about on the show at a little later date, and ways that people can help out a great cause, helping a family in need.
We absolutely will. And you're still putting a couple 2-3 details together, yes?
Yes, indeed.
So when those are ready, we will tell you all about it. Bowling with the Chumps. Do we know the date, though?
March
I think we know
7th.
the date.
March 7th. Yep.
What are the odds that that was the day that my doubleheader with Marquette and the Bucks fell?
I know.
There's 365 to choose from.
Yep.
And I say to you, oh, yeah, we're going to be in Milwaukee. It's going to be great. We're doing the doubleheader thing. Marquette, the Bucks, hotel. Oh, that's the day of Bowling with the Chumps.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It sucks. I mean, it sucks that I can't be there for the whole thing, but I definitely will be there in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to already be down here. It's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome. I love it. Wisconsin, 414-677-1250. What are you up to? Let us know on the Nicolay Law fan talk and text line. A friend of mine just texted, and she said, can I catch the Pat Murphy interview online somewhere?
Oh, what a great question.
Yes, you can. Inside Wisconsin Sports is a podcast as well. So open up your favorite podcast platform, Mary, and go to the hour. It was the second hour, roughly 7:15-ish. Minus commercials, give or take. You'll be able to listen back to that interview or any portion of the show, Wisconsin, that you missed today. Click the follow button Inside Wisconsin Sports, wherever you listen to podcasts. And you can always go back on Twitter or YouTube, where we broadcast our faces live as well. And you can see the interview with Pat Murphy there. He joined us on the phone. A lot of times guests join us on video. I asked him last night, video or phone. I get it now. He was 6:15 Phoenix time.
Yeah.
Kids were sleeping.
Yeah.
How about the phone, Trevor?
Yeah, phone.
You
phone
guys call
sounds
me.
great. And also, if you're like, oh, listen, I don't use apps. I'm listening to you in my car on the radio. WI Sports Radio for all of the shows, all the information. If you don't have a favorite app that you use, you can always go there. We podcast every hour, guest segments. Any time that you want, you can go back and make sure that you get all of the Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh that you want.
Across the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, every day the shows put out a promo that we allow those stations across the network to play. Josh is the one that puts the promos together for our show. Bud, good luck with today.
Yeah, man, we had a good show.
Choose.
I'm just going to make all of them. We're going to have promos for a couple weeks. It was a heavy show. It was a great show. A lot of fun. Thanks to everyone that tuned in and joined us for today.
Our thanks to Pat Murphy, the Milwaukee Brewers manager that joined us just after 7. It was so good to chat with Tim Allen, the franchise. Make sure you tune in later today. It is the first Hot Stove Weekly that happens every Wednesday from 5 to 7 here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. And, of course, you'll hear Tim's voice after every Brewers game this coming season, his 21st of the year. Our thanks to Doug Gottlieb as well. 8 a.m. every Wednesday, we hear from DG and get an update on UWGB men's basketball and whatever else Doug wants to talk to us about. And an early happy birthday to him. He indeed turns 50 tomorrow. All right, Wisconsin, that was a blast. We will see you tomorrow here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Because we're not done yet.